The following is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed on the program are solely that of the Horicon School District and the City of Horicon, not necessarily WBEV or Good Karma Brands. Welcome into Taking Care of Business today, featuring Marsh Talk. And a few of the people sitting next to me or that you'll probably have heard before, and you'll recognize, of course, Mayor Josh Moss sitting here immediately to my right, followed by Katie Schwartz. I was able to get, before the show started, the name of one of our additional guests, Amy Kuhlman, here with us today. And then, unfortunately, I didn't get your name before time ran out.
Zach Borns.
Zach Borns. All right, Zach, thanks for coming on the show here. And I'm excited because I like any time we can get more and more people on and more voices. And we've got a lot to talk about because there's always a lot going on at the City of the Marsh. But before we get started, we want to remind everybody kind of why this show even exists and why we do this and what value it's bringing to not just Horicon, but to what you guys do, the work you do there in the city. Who wants to go first today?
You want to go?
I will go. So why do we do this?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of groups in Horicon, the city, the chambers, school district, others that really want to spread the good word of Horicon. But not only that, mainly to keep the folks in Horicon that listen to the radio, give them another option to hear what's going on. And I'm in WBEV. Everybody has it on in town. So it's...
We appreciate that, by the way.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, it's a small investment on our part to reach out to our residents, plain and simple.
Wonderful.
It gives us a great opportunity to, like Josh said, not only to share the really good news of what's going on in Horicon, but also to keep all of our residents and our community informed about different things that are happening at the city level, on the school level, and anything that could impact our community members as well.
And what's really nice about this show that I've found that I enjoy is that, I know you guys, you're out and about, you're doing your jobs day to day. It's not always easy for people to get a moment to grab you and get FaceTime and ask those questions. And you guys are able to address a lot of those things in a very wide basis, maybe quell a lot of those questions and those fears before we even kick in and get started, which allows people a chance to maybe not have to corner you and not have to monopolize your time and lets you do the jobs that you're out there to do.
Absolutely.
Which is always awesome.
I think it helps us also to send a straight message straight from our mouths so that everybody can hear exactly what's going on. And really, it's such a positive opportunity for us to share great things that are happening, and that's really our focus.
There you go. I love it. Now, I got to ask, because we've got the two guests on today. We got Zach and Amy joining us, but I don't know why they're joining us. So why don't you give me a little background about you guys and what's bringing you onto the show today?
We are the members of the Marsh Area Chamber of Commerce. So recently, Horicon and Mayville have merged commerces. And so we are here to kind of just tell about some events we have going on this fall.
And the chamber is a monetary sponsor that has helped to pay for this show as well. So I wanted to make sure and have that opportunity for chamber members to join us because there is a lot going on this fall that can benefit both communities and particularly Horicon.
I don't know about you guys, but fall is one of my favorite seasons. The number of orange and fall colored shirts I wear. It's just great. Plus, pumpkin spice everything right now, and I couldn't be more basic if I tried. But
And football.
Well, there's that too. You just say that because you guys have Sword Field, which is so beautiful.
Sure is.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and jump right in. We'll start here. I see we're gonna try and talk a little bit about the city business, which of course means we turn the mic over to you, Josh. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of things going on right now. And I'm going to try to go through these bullet points, but I want to remind everybody 5 o'clock tonight is the information session on our new wastewater treatment facility. So we just got to see, or some of us got to see, and the rest of the council gets to see tonight, as well as the public, the 90%. So the design and everything is 90% finished. After tonight, it's finally going to go to bid. So any of the numbers that people would see tonight in the informational session or at council, those are preliminary. They're also, let's say, artificially high compared to where they're probably going to end up. And that's just in order for us to fill the compliance for clean water and other stuff. So I don't want anyone to become overly alarmed when they hear a preliminary price tag. This is obviously going to be the largest critical infrastructure undertaking the city has ever we've ever taken on. But it's also extraordinarily critical if we want more development and other businesses to come to town. If you talk to our DPW utilities director, we are at capacity with that plant. And, with the designs of bringing some businesses and companies out to Marshland Crossing and working with our neighbors that are currently, say, in the town of Oak Grove or Hubbard or Burnett or Williamstown, we're still looking at, expanding our city to bring in more residents too, which, benefits the school district and benefits all the taxpayers because we're splitting it, among more homes.
Right.
But in order to even contemplate any growth, we need to be able to treat our water to the levels that are required currently by the Wisconsin DNR. So that's going to be our main thing. And that information session, again, is at 5 o'clock tonight. You can either, come down to City Hall, or I'll have it streaming on our city's YouTube page. I'll also have council on there, which would start at 6 o'clock. So that's the main thing. But we do have a couple other things that are still going on, and we've had some information on them. Walnut Street is completely on schedule. That should be hopefully wrapped up and done by the next time we're on the radio here. If it's not, I'll get on and I'll tell you why. We're pretty much done with the milling and overlay projects for this fall. I know it's still warm out and it's still nice out and it seems like we can get a lot done, but they're all pretty much wrapped up except one alley between South Finch and South Cedar, and that's actually being privately paid for by the apartment complex, but that one will be done also this year. So the other two things that we've been working on is, and everyone that's been following our minutes for a while, it's the railroad crossing safety plan. So we finally received our request for proposals from a bunch of different engineering firms to look at all of our 6 or 7 railroad crossing places in our city. Just for everyone, everyone knows where they are. They're on Hubbard, Valley, Barstow, Clinton, E, and making them safer and more visible with the intention down the road to get arms on all of them and do all this stuff. This is going to give us the plan after the engineers complete the plan that will allow us in the future to apply for and hopefully get some grants to improve the safety of our crossings. Ideally, they would all be like they are on Barstow or on the highway. And, part of that improvement would be smoothing out some of those bumps like on Clinton and on Valley and on Hubbard. So that is getting somewhere finally. And then just for an update on the pedestrian bridge during the dam, we worked with a school on this one for years. And hopefully in October, they plan on showing the 3 different final proposals. I'm going to tell you right now, they're ridiculously expensive. I think personally, they may be a little cost prohibitive to the city unless we got a hell of a lot of grants. On the north side of the tracks, the hill going up Valley makes it very difficult, very cost prohibitive to do it on the north side. And on the south side of the bridge, there is some of the land on the southwest side that's owned by a business. And on the southeast side is owned by a resident. So they're going to explain the 3 different, final proposals to the public in a meeting in October. And at this point, they're just going to be proposals. I think it's going to be a good plan for us to use to also go for grants and stuff like that. I mean, it's not something that we're going to be able to even pretend to cut a check for at this time, but at least give us a really good idea and a good way to write grants. I mean, that's the main thing. So there's a lot of things going on right now behind the scenes. The city is extraordinarily busy. Tonight also at council, I am appointing a new city treasurer / director of finance. with the hopes that our council approves it, which I assume they will. Very good. We had a lot of highly qualified candidates. We had very excellent interviews. And I think we're going to really have a different look downtown. So I'm really excited.
There's a lot of stuff going on there. I want to touch on a few things. I'm one of those weird people that I look up and research a lot of weird stuff. And you talk about your wastewater treatment plant being kind of at capacity. When people think, well, then it's fine, right? But they're not designed to operate at capacity. They're designed to get there and then not be there.
Yeah, they're not supposed to run at capacity. They're
Right.
not supposed to be 42 years old.
And so a lot of people, I know people are going to walk in, probably look at the preliminary information and the pre-bid information and say, well, we don't need it to be that big or cover that many residents, but you're looking much further ahead than the next 5 years, obviously, for the city of Horicon.
Yeah, this is a
Another
25,
40-year
30, 35, 40-year project. And we got to look 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 years out.
There you go. You got to have
it-
that long vision going.
Yeah, and, like anything, if we would have done this 5 years ago, it would have been a lot cheaper. But it is what it is, and it's not something you keep kicking the can down. Mayville's not kicking the can, Juneau's not, Lemera's not, Theresa's not. All these wastewater treatment plants are way aged out. And, there's new requirements every year from the DNR or the EPA or this or that, that it would cost more to sit there and try to adjust an old building over and over and over just to meet these new requirements than to build one with a bigger capacity that we can change, I guess the little minutia of everything on the fly, much more than, doing giant Band-Aids all the time.
And I got to give you guys a lot of props on the railroad crossing safety plans you guys are working on and working through. I have many friends who live throughout the country that when they hear that we don't have the safety arms that come down in a lot of our cities at railroad crossings, it blows their minds. Like you can just drive through whenever, and it's like, yep. And it happens, unfortunately.
Anyone familiar with Horicon understands that our railroad traffic is something special. And they were there before the roads. They have every right to it. They're federally regulated. The problem is, and everyone in Horicon is guilty, just like I am. You see those arms coming down, you're looking for option B, C, or D on how you can beat it to the next spot. Hey, I see the trains coming down. I'm going down Chandler Street. Oh, I'm coming from the other direction. I see the trains coming, so I'm going to cut down Valley real quick, or I'm going to run over on Larrabee and try to get and beat it over by E. That is, that doesn't make it any safer.
No. And then how bad are you driving on those other streets as you're trying to get to that spot?
Any one of us that's lived on those roads understand. I lived on Chandler, and anyone that lives on Chandler that can hear me right now have seen countless 70, 75, 80 mile per hour cars flying down Chandler Street. Mm-hmm. It's been that way since I was 5 years old. It's nothing new, but if we can improve, the other thing too is, if we made all of them safe and they all had arms, Horicon would also qualify potentially as a quiet zone. And, all those people that live along the tracks, you live along the tracks, mm-hmm. We could stop the horns from blaring too. I kind of don't mind them. They're a really good safety feature. Sometimes if you're not paying attention to the arms, you're going to hear that horn. But it's at least another option that come out of this. But safety is the main reason, not to quiet down a city. It's definitely a safety thing.
My grandparents lived very close to a train track in Doylestown, Wisconsin, tiny little town. And after a while, they were like, you don't even hear the train anymore.
You don't?
Yeah.
I don't hear it.
In the back of your mind. Doesn't wake you up at night, and you're good. Anything else we want to touch on for the city? I know we're going to get into some chamber stuff at some point, but I think we're doing that wrapped in with some of the school stuff, I believe.
No, I think tonight we'll be talking enough to the city. So
there you go. 5 o'clock tonight there that's at the City Hall, right? Yep.
5 o'clock is the information session at City Hall. 6 o'clock is City Council at City Hall.
There you go. Perfect. Let's go ahead and dive into some school stuff. Katie, second time now with you in the helm on the show.
Yep.
And I guess first and foremost, I got to ask, How's the new job treating you? The new office is nice. You got it all decorated the way you like?
Mostly decorated. My
Okay.
my admin assistant is helping me in that department. That's not my strength. So
Okay,
we're
you're not like
getting
a
there.
decorated with the seasons, kind of change it up kind of person, or
I'm not, but if someone wants to support me in that area, I'm happy to.
there you go.
help
Bring all your
contribute.
pumpkins directly here, Katie Schwartz there at the school district. So what's going on over there?
We have had a really incredible start to this school year. The positive energy that we've had in the building has been incredible. The engagement level that I've seen in the classrooms is the highest I've seen it in quite a while. We have some new protocols in place actually for cell phones in our middle school. We've stayed very consistent in the course with our policies in the high school as well. So we did this without any major sweeping changes. We have been staying really true to engagement and instruction. And I can just tell you that it's been an incredible ride so far this year.
Now that's a kind of a hot button topic for a lot of kids. It's
is.
the cell phone it's a lifeline. It's always nearby. I mean, ironically, mine's in my desk in there, but technically, I got my smartwatch. That's
Yep.
my
You
cell
ever
phone
make it
on my
through
wrist.
school without-
Yeah, sometimes I wonder. Thank goodness for that payphone in the hallway. What are the protocols now? What has changed? What has shifted?
Really, not a lot has changed. Our expectation is always that kids are engaged in the classroom in their lessons. We've just put a few more restrictions in the middle school in terms of when they're able to have them on their person or visible. And the most critical thing about any policy is the adherence to such policy and the extent to which, as a team, everyone is engaged in putting the protocols in place. So you're really only as strong as your weakest link in certain situations. So really nothing has been a major change. We didn't change any board policies, but our focus this year is on growth. And we can't grow if we're not engaged in what we're doing. And so it's just been a really great start to the year, seeing the numbers of kids that are engaged. It's homecoming week, so
Oh, that's a big deal.
I mean, there's a lot going on, a lot
Right.
of distractions that we put in place to learning. But I'd just like to say that this year, far and wide, as I've been all throughout the district, it's been a really great start to the year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, thank you.
What else you got for me?
Well, last week, Friday, was the third Friday count. That's the big count that districts always have in terms of the numbers that go back to the state and who's engaged or who's in
I
seats.
didn't even know that was a thing.
It's a big thing.
Do you just
so-
like walk through? You're like one by one, like
No, it's
tally.
it's all electronic now,
Oh,
right? So you've
okay.
got your student attendance counts, but that's kind of when all of us are able to lock down who's here and who's elsewhere. So I'm happy to report that our enrollment is actually pretty steady this year. We have more students open enrolled into the district than we did previously, and we
Nice.
have fewer students open enrolled out. And that's always the game, is we're trying to kind of manage that enrollment process. Those student counts are critical for us in terms of finalizing our budget as we figure out what kind of state aid we're going to get. Everything is still preliminary until we get those numbers in from the state, and our student count is the first part of that. So-
Now I know, and we're probably going to touch on this. I haven't dug through the full outline yet, but I know there's a lot of schools out there that are learning that maybe the aid they were expecting is not going to be where they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's definitely where HorrorCon is at, and I think it's about 60% of districts, plus or minus a little bit, that are impacted by negative state aid this year. Our annual meeting was last week. We had a great meeting, but our state aid estimate is down over $322,000.
That's not a small chunk of change.
No, that is a significant impact to our budget. We won't get the final numbers available to us until after October 15th. There are a few things at play that kind of put this in perspective. We do have enrollment, as far as the state goes this way, is on a 3-year rolling average. And so we do have a slightly declining enrollment over the past 3 years. Nothing is urgent, or we're not in any trouble, but when that slight starts to slightly decline, then you get less aid. We also have, we were very fiscally responsible last year, and so we didn't spend a lot of money. We aren't spending operational referendum money, and it kind of works that the less money you spend, the less they're going to give you in aid as well. And so just a few factors at play. In as that goes, when other districts, there's a pot of money. When other districts spend more, that allocation tends to be more in other areas.
Right. They kind of assume they have more of a need than you do.
Correct.
And, yeah.
Right. And so, unfortunately, with our state aid going down $322,000 and more, that also means that there is unfortunately a local tax impact.
Right, because you got to make up that difference.
You have to
somewhere.
make up the
Right.
difference. That is not money that is extra. That's the money we need. And so unfortunately, there will be a local impact on our taxes as far as that goes. That's a part of this show also, that there's a good and a bad, right? And so this is just an opportunity for me to share with everybody what that situation looks like. Our mill rate is looking that it's going to increase this year as well, up about 0.6. And so this could change slightly after our October 1 equalized valuation numbers come in
Right.
terms of the property values. Higher equalized valuation will actually lower the mill rate. I know, I think a lot of people are anticipating that their valuation is going to go up.
Right.
And so what we know is that the local tax levy is likely to increase by about $500,000 in terms of the need that the school district has. This will also include, last year it's estimated about $502,000 was paid out for private school vouchers, and that's all on the local tax levy. And
Right.
so important for us to know how that state aid is impacting us. We still remain in a relatively good place. We did pass a preliminary deficit budget of $114,727. That is a very conservative estimate. So last year we proposed, our budget was a deficit as well by over $50,000, and we ended the year in the positive last year. So
There you go.
this is a very conservative estimate, but it's just the reality of where things are at.
And
So-
I know I know this from talking last year with Rich Apple, and I'm sure it'll be the same with you. But you know, when it comes to schools, a lot of times it's about that finding value and continued value and
Absolutely. And
fiscal responsibility.
we have to be responsible. We have to live within our means, but we also have a job to do.
Right.
And we plan for that job a year in advance.
Right.
And then the kids show up in the building, and then the state gives you your aid, right? So we're always trying to find the right balance of making sure that we are operationally as stable as possible, but also providing the best possible education to the students that we can. That's our job.
Tough balancing act, but I'm glad you're doing it and not me.
Me too.
Are we ready to talk about something that's not money related?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's
Absolutely.
move on.
Like I said, it's homecoming week here in Horicon and Eustisford. So as far as football goes, we are looking forward to a good game on Friday night. We will be in Eustisford for the game, and we play Bigfoot. That game is at 7, but we do have the parade happening before that through Eustisford, and I believe the parade is scheduled at 5 o'clock.
Very nice.
Yep. So you'll see all kinds of floats from all the different areas, including our cross country team. They've been making the news a little bit lately. Our boys team have won several races this year as a team. We have one in particular, one team member, Sawyer Herman, who has won 2 races. And our girls are medaling quite well, actually.
Awesome.
So the cross-country team is doing a great job. They're getting better each week, and we're proud of their performance so far also. Volleyball will be I believe we're at home tonight. Our young team continues to show lots of growth and improvement. So we're really proud of the work that the volleyball team has done. Like I said, they're quite a young team, so they're working really hard on doing everything they can to compete. Our middle school teams are in full swing also. So cross country, volleyball, football, everybody's very busy. And as homecoming week is, we we have a lot going on in the district this week. So
I have to ask because obviously with having everything in one building and you have the one field, does that make practices and stuff a little bit more mixed, or they still keep those practices separate for the sports
we're
teams?
able to keep that pretty spread out. Our high school team tends to practice on the field that they'll be playing on Friday. So this week we're playing in Houston, which is a grass field. Therefore, we practice in Houston. When we know we're playing on turf, we can practice on the turf in Horicon. The middle school practices then kind of fall in line, and we have that all coordinated. And our 5th and 6th grade team also that's not affiliated with the school, but through Horicon Youth Football, we have space for them on campus as well. So it all works out.
It is a little unfortunate that nobody's going to get a clear photo at the game on Friday because nobody's ever gotten a clear photo of Bigfoot. But maybe next week will be better. That's my one dad joke for the show. Thank you.
If I get one, I'll send it your way, though.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love that this next thing, this is something that you're continuing on with, and I think is a great thing you guys do there at the school. The Marshman Coffee. Talk a little bit more about that and how's it been going so far?
Yeah, our first one is this Thursday at 8:30, so people can entrance through the district office, which is located by the flagpoles. Marshman Community Coffee is an opportunity for all of our community who wants to spend some time with me and with some of our staff members just learning about all the good things going on at the school district. So I will probably have a little repeat of some information I shared today, but joining me on Thursday will also be a recap of students and some staff who went to Guatemala. So they'll be updating the community and kind of reliving that experience a little bit.
That's awesome. That was a big deal. So that's awesome.
It was a huge deal, and they had amazing trips. So I'm excited for them to share not only the pictures, but what they learned from that experience as well. I think that was a deeply moving experience for everyone.
I think that
who
was the goal, too,
involved.
is to make it a learning
Correct.
experience.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I'll also be joined by some kids from each of our grade levels. So I'm anticipating some 5th graders. I will have some middle schoolers giving some updates, and then we're also going to meet each of the captains from the teams because it's homecoming week.
Awesome.
So all of the captains joining us. And then also our 5 foreign exchange students are going to be introducing themselves as well. So we've got a full slate. Really looking forward. There is coffee and some pastries available as well. So I'm hopeful that we can have quite a few people joining us, and I'm really looking forward to meeting with everyone for the first time.
5 foreign exchange students for a school this size. I give you guys a lot of credit.
Yeah.
I mean, my school in Columbus wasn't super huge, but I think we had 2 my senior year.
Yeah,
And that seemed like a lot.
We had 5 last year as well. So we have some tremendous community support for the foreign exchange program, and are really happy to have all the kids join us. I think it's a great opportunity for everyone involved.
Now, speaking of the community and getting them involved, another thing you guys do that's really awesome, you got those senior citizen passes you offer.
Yeah, absolutely. All senior citizens in the community have the ability to come to our events free of charge. So they simply need to come to the office and ask for that pass, and we're excited to provide that for them.
I do have a question, and this is for a friend. What age does senior citizens start in Horicon?
Oh, gosh. I leave that up to the office, ladies. I can't actually answer that question, but
I'm hoping it's 50.
Well, we'll let you report back to your friend once
did
you know.
you get
and
your
feel free to
AARP
share.
card yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I mean, your friend?
My
Yeah,
friend
your
did.
friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
We actually last night, and just another update, we had a recognition event for our Marshman Foundation. And that event brought all of our elite sponsors together in one place. We met at Horicon Hills, and we just spent time celebrating together as a group the incredible donation that the foundation has been able to make. As you know, with the golf outing, they were able to raise between the outing and the elite sponsorships almost $40,000 for the foundation, and the impact that the foundation has had on the school is critical to us. So we had a great time last night celebrating with everybody and just being able to sincerely appreciate and say thank you to our elite sponsors for their contributions. And I would say that the importance there is because of the fiscally responsible world we live in and needing to be tight with our budget, with decreases in aid, the support of the foundation is more critical now than ever. And so any additional donations, whether they be from the foundation or other people looking to support the school, we're just so appreciative of that because it does help us to provide a little bit extra to each of the groups and the service groups, the administration staff, campus security improvements, all of those are really impacted positively by the foundation.
I feel like they're a great kind of source for those times when you talk about planning. You're planning for this year, last year, which means when things come up randomly and you're trying to figure out how to fit that in the budget, having something like this step up and go, no, we've got that thing the sports, the football team needs, or we've got that thing you need for the janitorial staff or whatever.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah, and sometimes we have to add things to our budget regardless. That is going to happen. But the foundation has been really helpful and able to give us a few extra nice haves too. For example, this year the foundation helped to support new mannequins for our CPR classes. That impacts not only our students who are learning CPR, but all of us who are being retrained as well.
Right.
It has allowed us to add extra technology for our meeting spaces, not only for our Board of Education, but other groups that come into play. Every student club in the district is going to get money from the foundation this year. The kids will be writing in and they'll be expressing how they'd like to use that money from the foundation. So they've got a little skin in the game also. And we'll be purchasing an iPad. They just approved that yesterday to support our media engagement and other opportunities throughout the district in all kinds of different ways, whether it's through relevant music or other types of media engagement, helping to capture photos, tell the good story. All of that is really going to help the district to keep moving forward.
And that engagement is huge. I mean, when you think about the partnership that the school district and the city have, the better the engagement is and people can see and more eyes on stuff, the better it's going to be for helping and growing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just thankful for that partnership and look forward to continued work together.
Wonderful. Now, according to my diagram here, which is supposed to be the most up-to-date diagram, I see we're about to start dipping into some of the chamber stuff.
Yes.
So I want to again thank Amy and Zach for joining us today on the show and invite you guys to stop listening to these guys for a minute and help chime in on some of this stuff as well. First and foremost, thanks for being here. I always appreciate we have members of the chamber on. Chambers have a huge impact in the cities, even if people don't know they're there. And sometimes you don't. You just go to the events and you have a good time. You don't realize the work behind the scenes. But what's going on in the city on the Marsh?
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. So I am happy to talk about a couple of events that we've got coming up, exactly like you're just saying there, that fun stuff that we've got going on in our communities. Going to talk through a couple things between Horicon and Mayville, as Amy mentioned in the beginning there. The chambers have combined a little bit. She touched on that earlier on there. But so we'll cover a couple activities here. First and foremost, September 28th is the 50th annual Autumn Art on the Marsh. We've got over 40 vendors so far set to participate. It's an arts and crafts show. It'll be at Disher Park in Horicon there. The time is from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And of course, sponsored by the Marsh Area Chamber of Commerce. Next event to look forward to, Saturday, October 4th, we've got Mayville Corks and Colors Wine Walk. First note here, our VIP tickets for this are sold out, but general admission tickets are $25 before the event, $35 the day of the event, and then we're offering the sober slippers for $15 as well. That is from 1 to 4 p.m. again on Saturday, October 4th, and don't miss out on the photo walk experience portion of that event. We will have throughout downtown multiple themed photos and areas that you can stop by and take some pictures, set up different tasting spots. It's a cool activity.
I'm a big fan of the wine walks, mostly because my wife's a big fan of them. Because why not? I'm usually the sober sipper to make sure she gets home safe. I always joke that, what does she call a bottle of wine? Single serve. She's not listening, so she'll hear that joke from somebody else later. But yeah, let's go on.
Yes, and then to stay in that same vein with the wine wandering, so we've got the Horicon wine wander.
2 in 1 month. Okay.
Yes, then on Saturday.
choice.
Yep. Then on Saturday, October 17th, that'll be brought to you by the Horicon Phoenix program in the Marsh Area Chamber of Commerce. $35 ticket is going to grant you access to 16 unique wine samples, commemorative wine glass, and a punch card. Once the punch card is filled out, you simply fill out your name, phone number on the back, turn it in for a chance to win some exciting raffle prizes.
Awesome.
I'm going to just add to that too. One of the fun things about the Horicon Wine Wander, it's our first one that we're doing in Horicon, and we're
Okay.
partnering with the Phoenix program, who does the wonderful music at the market.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
So we're partnering with them to work on this year. And one of the unique things about it is that the Blue Heron, is weather permitting, is going to be doing a boat between the Blue Heron, the landing at Bowling Green, and Rock River Tap. Because we're going to have I believe Brenda Bruette is going to be setting up Cold War Bank at the Bowling Green Park. So weather permitting, you can walk and you can take a boat down the river and get
Why
your
not?
wine then.
That's nice. That's unique too, because if
Yeah.
you don't want to walk, because maybe you're a few samples in, the boat's a nice way to just relax on the way there.
Just something a little extra.
You can tell I've been on a few of these, right? That is really cool, and love the fact that and I should throw this out there now. I love the fact that you guys have merged the two cities together for that. Obviously, a lot more power. You guys are cities are not too far apart, which is awesome, and really allows for you guys to utilize, because both of you are technically on the Marsh, right?
Yeah.
Just Horicon gets to claim it, and they haven't lost it in football yet, as far as I know.
Well,
Yeah, Mayville did kill us, but I'm going to say they're technically not on the Marsh. That would be Kikoski.
Well, Josh
Close
and
enough.
Katie
Stone's throw,
and
right?
I all
No, we're all
graduated. We're all Marshland.
Oh,
Or
okay.
not Marsh.
And I think you're right. I do think that a lot of the things that go on behind the scenes, we are much more brotherly between Horicon and Mayville when it's not including including high school sports. So outside that, we do a lot of things jointly, and that goes down, even if it's a fire call or an EMS call or this or that, there's a lot more cooperation between the two cities than what we joke about on a daily basis.
Well, and I'm looking at the next 3 things here on the list, and this is something that's always on my radar, because not only because I have kids, but I also love any reason to throw in a costume and walk around places. You guys have a trick-or-treat plan coming up, which a lot of people do for October, but it's staggered just enough that you can kind of hit all of them
you could.
and get plenty of candy for the kids, which is always good. And if you have a really unique costume, it gives you a chance to wear it multiple times. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we have those 3 trick-or-treating sessions coming up here to commemorate Halloween. The Mayville Business Trick-or-Treat is on October 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. The City of Mayville Trick-or-Treat is on October 26th at 3 p.m. And then the City of Horicon's Trick-or-Treat will be on October 26th, 4 to 7 p.m. I know I've got a little guy at home, little Steve Rogers, Captain America. This year.
I love it.
So
I love it.
should be exciting.
And one thing I have lower there, on October 31st is our PTO trunk or treat, and that is a big deal in Horicon. So
there you go.
they
That's a
do
lot
an
of fun.
amazing job setting that up. So really, local kids have a minimum of 4 opportunities, and which will keep our dentists in
Yes,
business for
that's
quite some
important.
while.
That's very
Yes.
important to do. Spooky season is my season by far. For anybody who doesn't know, and we talk about it on the radio all the time, I do a 31 Days of Halloween where I watch a different horror film every day of October. Not always scary, sometimes the funny ones too. Throw a few of those in there.
That is commitment.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're on about 24 years straight of doing it now. So yeah, it works out well. But the trick-or-treating has always been my thing. The trunk-or-treats, the level of commitment that people put into, it's almost like decorating a house for Halloween is like, okay, decorating your car for Halloween or doing stuff with games and things they do. Some people set up tents and go crazy
The
hog
themes
wild.
are incredible, and the community support for that event is really great to see, and it's a very fun event.
I imagine that engagement iPad is going to be out at that event taking photos of
Absolutely.
everything.
Yeah.
And our city, is definitely invested in the Horicon PTO trunk or treat. My wife and I, we do it. The DPW utilities, they do it. Our police department does it. Our fire department does it. Our EMS does it. So we all have a section of the PTO. We're really involved with this for our kids. I mean, like us being here right now, we're pretty symbiotic. We work together really well.
I do want to ask, since we're talking about that currently, I know in some cases PTOs will say, well, you got to be part of the PTO to have a trunk and give out candy. Some places will say you don't even have to have a kid in school. You want to give out candy and decorate? By all means,
Absolutely.
show up.
There's a sign-up form that is available, and I know they have a Facebook page. They are accepting the applications now. The great part about that is it's right on school campus. It's safe, and it's a great environment for kids to be in, and it's predictable. So we're just really incredibly happy with the community-wide support. And really, it's not a fundraiser. It's not anything like that.
Right.
It just goes back to kids.
It would be more in tune with the Mayville business trick or treat because Horicon businesses are there, John Deere, Horicon Bank.
Right.
So it's basically taking that date and moving it down on the 31st.
I may have to, I don't want to commit to anything and get yelled at by Sherry, but I might have to see if WBEB is doing anything on that day, because maybe
We'd love to have you.
That would be amazing.
bring the station vehicle out.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
I love any reason to look at costumes and hand out candy. So,
Yeah.
big fan of that. But let's talk about some of those special days coming up and some recognition we want to do, because we got some time to do so. So
Yeah,
let's do it.
as I mentioned, Marshman Community Coffee is Thursday morning at 8:30. Really looking forward to that. On the 26th, then, on Friday, is homecoming. Join us at Hustisford for our game against Bigfoot. The parade is at 5, game is at 7. We actually have October 14th and 16th already are our parent-teacher conference nights.
So
I
soon.
just want to make sure all the parents out there know to reserve those times. They'll be getting communication from our principals. And then on October 17th, our students do not have school this year. So October 31st, like I mentioned, is the PTO trunk or treat, and that would be at 5:30 on the Friday. And that same night on October 31st is the debut of our fall high school play. So you can come trick-or-treating, and then you can go right into the play.
Do we know what the play is?
You know what? I have it noted here, and I should have written it down, but I don't have it in front of me.
That's all
look
right.
as we're
You'll be in
wrapping
before
things
then,
up.
so
Oh,
we'll
I will.
have time
Yes.
to talk about it.
Dark
Yes.
or something.
Yes, it was actually written by Cody Farron, our local band director.
Oh, hey.
And so it's a very local play.
I have a feeling they're probably going to end up on our Hometown Today show talking about it here pretty soon if they haven't already.
Yeah. Yep.
So that is
we'll
awesome.
make sure, and I'll have all that information because I will be in here next time before the 31st. We'll be excited about that.
Well, there you go. So as we're getting ready to wrap up here, I want to remind everybody again, like you said, 25th, that one's coming up really quick. That's that Marshman Coffee happening 8:30 a.m. If you're part of the community, if you want to know what's going on, you want to stop in, find out what's happening at the schools. Maybe you don't have a kid in the school district, but you still care about what's happening. You know, people like to stay linked and committed to those,
Or you
to
like
those
coffee.
school districts. Or you just like coffee.
Yeah.
Swing on in, 8:30 a.m. Remind everybody tonight, 5 p.m., that informational session going on there at the City Hall in Horicon, talking about that wastewater treatment plant. And then following at 6 o'clock is the City Council meeting, correct?
Correct.
There you go. So stop in for that. Any final words anybody wants to share before we wrap things up for the day?
I just want to thank our residents who have been patient with the Walnut Street reconstruction and with Highway 28 being shut down between Horicon and Mayville. Thanks again for the patience, and at least one of those two are opened up now, and Walnut will be done soon.
And I'd like to say thank you to the Marsh Area Chamber of Commerce. The district is a member of that as well, but thankful for you guys to be here today and represent all the great things that are going on in the community. And just, again, I would like to thank our entire community support for Horicon schools and Horicon kids, and we've got a good thing going on here.
Zach, I want to thank you for coming on. Amy, I haven't said it yet, but I love your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
my God.
I forgot
it's
we were
great.
going to be on too.
Yeah, no, hey, I love it. I love it. I think it's great. And then Katie and Josh, always great having you guys on. And I look forward to talking to you again next month.
See you, Ninja.
Thank
See
you.
ya. This has been a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed on the program are solely that of Horicon School District and the City of Horicon, not necessarily WBEV or Good Karma Brands.